What is going on, y'all? Back here, another video. And what we are going to be doing today is we are going to be ranking my personal favorite tag team champions from 2000 to current day. Now, this is my personal favorite. Everybody's got their favorites, whether it's the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, whether it is Cesaro and Sheamus, the Bar, whether it is, the Hart Dynasty. Everybody has their favorite tag team champions, and I'm going to give you guys mine. If you guys don't mind going down in the comments and telling me if you agree, or if you guys have your own list. There's no right or wrong answers here, guys. This is personally your favorites, okay? Starting off my list, we got MNM. Johnny Nitro and Joey Mercury. For those of y'all that don't know who Johnny Nitro and Joey Mercury is, I would just like to say Melina, before she was a single star, she was with these guys. And they had the whole movie star paparazzi entrance. And that was pretty much the first we had ever seen of something like that. Like, even Hollywood Rock didn't have anything like that. Or Hollywood Hogan, they didn't have anything like that. So, to roll out the red carpet and have a whole bunch of paparazzis taking, photos of you, that entrance along with their titles, it fit them perfectly. And that's what I love about championships. There's some championships where it just feels right. It fits them perfectly. Now, they had multiple different reigns. I would take either or. I would probably want to take their second reign over their first. But they were a very good tag team together. And for those of you that don't know who Joey Mercury is, he was also a part of the Authority as Rollins' security. But this was a good tag team. They had good in-ring chemistry. They were pretty safe to work with from what I heard. And they are pretty good. And not just pretty good. They're really good as a tag team. I would say go back and watch some of Johnny Nitro's and Joey Mercury's, matches. Because they did not disappoint. Number 4. We have Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Now, I personally, and this is just me, I personally think this is a underrated tag team of all time. We talk about the Usos, we talk about the New Day, the Dudley Boys, the Hardy Boys. We talk about, D-Generation X as a faction. We talk about, the Shield and how they were tag team champions. Paul London and Brian Kendrick were sights to see. They were really something unique, and they were really, different. From the theme songs to the way they came out to their in-ring ability. Their in-ring ability was so good that I honestly couldn't have said anything wrong with anything with them. I wish that we got a Paul London and Brian Kendrick type of tag team nowadays. I don't think I see flashes of them with A-Town Down Under, but I felt like A-Town Down Under would have been better, mimicking a Paul London and Brian Kendrick type of, tag team, instead of being this comedic gimmick whatsoever. I think that Paul London and Brian Kendrick are literally the most underrated tag team of all time, and I don't think a lot of people know about Paul London or Brian Kendrick. I don't think they know about them at all. So, they will be number 4 on this list. Number 3. And this is going to shock you guys. The New Day. The New Day, I didn't like them at first. And I think I can say for a lot of people that not a lot of people liked this gimmick when it first started. But as time went on, as they started talking in the mic, once they started doing the whole trombone thing, getting the chant New Day Rocks, when they started winning championships, when they started being the power of positivity, when they were a whole with Big E and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, they were unstoppable. They weren't some powerhouse tag team. No. They would lose the belts, and then they would get their way back to the title picture, win the belts. They would lose the belts, win it back. And they were always in the championship picture. That's what I like about old championships. Somebody might lose their belt, but they are always, always, always in the picture. They're always in the picture. And New Day was one of those teams where they had some very good matches. Matches with The Bar, matches with the Usos, which is some of their most iconic ones, especially that 2017 Hell in a Cell match that they unfortunately lost. They still are one of the best tag teams of all time. Like, even though they are a faction, and it's not just two guys, they still were tag team champions at one point, whether you put it as Big E and Kofi, Big E and Xavier, Xavier and Kofi. No matter how you put it, they were still tag team champions. No matter which way you put it, and their run being the longest reigning tag team champions before Bloodline ended up starting, I think that was something that I will forever remember. Them coming out with the Booty-O cereal was funny. But I really do want to say that the New Day was one of my top favorite tag team champions of all time. Number 2. Now, a little disclaimer I forgot to put. For Brian Kendrick and Paul London and Johnny Nitro and Jerry Mercury, I didn't get the chance to watch these guys. I've only seen a handful of matches, literally one handful of matches by them two. This tag team at number 2 pretty much had everybody saying, 3 words. Get the tables. Devon, Bubba Ray Dudley, the Dudley Boys. Now, they didn't have some long historic reign, right? They didn't. But if we got to talk about what they did for the tag team division as a whole, not just them, but Edge and Christian, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, that TLC ladder match that they had for the tag team titles will forever and forever go down in history as one of the best matches that people will ever see in their life. Because it was extreme. It brought a mix of extreme rules to the tag team division. We had some gruesome moments. We had some bloody moments. We had some devious chair shots. But that match right there, everybody was on their feet. It was a spot fest. Whether somebody's going through a ladder, whether somebody's getting speared while hanging on from the titles, didn't matter. And the Dudley Boys were a part of that. Them being tag team champions meant something to them. And it didn't just mean anything to them. Everybody loved the Dudley Boys back then. When I look back at some of the, clips of when they were tag team champions, everybody were on their feet for the Dudley Boys. Everybody wanted tables. Everybody wanted the Dudley Boys. The Dudley Boys was the team. Now, I think they only had, if I remember correctly, they had 1, maybe 2 runs at tag team champions. But I'm talking strictly WWE, but we don't want to get into the TNA tag team championships either with these guys. So, they will be number 2 on this list. And number 1 is a tag team I grew up watching. I grew up watching them. I seen them when they first came in. I seen them be a tag team for the lion's share part of their careers. And I think you guys know who this is. Little bit of recency biasness. The Usos. The Usos, how do I want to put this? My favorite part of the Usos is when you couldn't tell them apart. They really had the entrance when they would come out and do the haka. I really think that that's something that, made them a little different than the Rikishis or the Rock, or anybody else of their family. Them coming out and doing the haka really was a difference for them, and it made them stand out because they were the only people doing it on the roster. And also, them being multiple time tag team champions, they've had some great run-ins, with American Alpha. I don't think people remember Chad Gable used to be called Shorty G. I don't think people realize that. And then they also had matches with, again, The Bar, The New Day. They also had matches against RK Bro, which, for those of y'all that don't know, yes, Randy was in another tag team outside of Legacy and Evolution. But I would just like to say, personally, that the Usos really, they were the tag team I grew up with. Just like the New Day, they were more of like a faction. The Usos, I grew up with. I grew up with them. Like, literally, I watched them when they first came in, all the way up to present day, of one of them being world champion currently and the other one doing his own thing over on SmackDown. I watched this tag team, so it's a lot of recency bias. But not only that, it is also the fact that they are in history. They're in history. And I know how some people are, about the Attitude Era. A lot of people say, well, wrestling will never be like the Attitude Era again. Okay, it won't be like the Attitude Era. But I understand where people are coming from, because people are like, I miss The Rock, I miss China, I miss Stone Cold, I miss old D-Generation X, I miss Nation of Domination. I understand that, guys. I understand that people miss the Ken Shamrocks. Guess what? I miss the Usos. I miss Jimmy and Jay being Jimmy and Jay. Now, you could say their best work is when they were doing the Uso Penitentiary thing. I think that that's some of their best work till this day. I think them being single stars, I think they're just kind of having fun in the, later ends of their careers right now. But the Usos top this list off for me. If you guys think I'm wrong, if you guys have your own opinions, let me know who your favorite tag team champions of all time is. And let me know if you like my list or if you hated my list. I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out.